Sound quality check.
Good.
Sound quality check.
Dave.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Team Powerhouse show, live with you every Tuesday night. A very special guest in the hot seat, Mr. Frank Dean.
What's going on, everybody?
Mr. 1928, Brantford's very special person and bar who's made Brantford a new and special location to visit.
Yeah,
How about that?
appreciate that, yeah.
Thank you so much for being part of our show.
Thank you,
today.
happy to be here.
So on your far right, Mr. Eric Vasquez,
Mahalo.
Dave Lamel here from Team Powerhouse, and we appreciate you being a part of our show.
What's so funny?
Mahalo, baby.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we are here live with a very special guest, Mr. Frank Dean. He is in the hot seat tonight. I expect and want to hear from you guys. If you have questions about the bar industry, this is something very special. So Frank Dean, let's first talk about you and your family life. You're married.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
You
married.
have a beautiful wife. Her
Beautiful
name
wife,
is.
Nicola.
And you have how many kids?
3 boys.
And what are their names?
Landon, Luca, and Logan.
I want to thank you all for allowing Mr. Frank Dean being here tonight. I want to thank also Tony.
Yeah, my partner, my best friend,
Right.
TC Bulldog. We call him TC Bulldog.
TC Bulldog in the shop, probably getting things ready for you tonight.
Yeah,
It's Tuesday night,
Yep. Yeah,
Now-
we open at 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock on Tuesday nights, and Tuesday nights have a very special happening on Tuesday nights.
Yes, we do buy one, get one off the menu, so it's like a buy one, get one program. Every Tuesday, 7 o'clock to close. Close could be late. We tend to gear Tuesdays towards industry people, but you don't have to be from the industry to come. But we do like to stay open late for those that are coming off their shift that want a place to get a quick
So
one.
I'm going to interject that we're already in the bar
But-
and
but
we
wait-
haven't read anything about it.
So
Right?
we're going to
How
switch back out.
Frank
Yeah.
got his start
All
or
right.
any of that stuff. And we're already at the bar drinking. So
Yes,
it's,
yeah.
And it's buy one, get one.
We get straight to it.
So Frank Dean, where are you from originally?
Originally from West Haven. I lived in New Haven for a few years, and then I moved to North Haven. I've been in North Haven ever since. So I'm definitely a Haven guy.
Excellent. And where'd you go to school?
Originally, as I said, when I lived in West Haven, I went to schools in West Haven. When I moved to North Haven, I went to elementary school at Clintonville, went to North Haven Middle, and then I graduated from North Haven High School.
Awesome. And if you don't mind me asking you, how did you get in the bar business? Like,
Oh,
how'd that happen?
So I got into this business back when I was 14. I wanted to work.
14 years
Wait,
old in the
wait.
bar.
Yeah. Don't call anybody on
Sounds-
that.
sounds
I don't
like
get
we're
anybody in
leaving
trouble,
there,
but
but-
yeah. So I was under the table. I was, because it was a family friend's restaurant, very close family friend. They've since closed. It was a restaurant here in North Haven. They were specialized in, lunch, breakfast, dinner, flair of like Mediterranean, Italian meets American. But I cut my teeth there, busser, dishwasher, worked my way up to server. I did a little bit of bar back work. They started, showing me the bar stuff pretty early. By the time I was 18 is when I really started getting interested in the bar.
Wow.
And I became bar back, server, as recently as sommelier, David Burke Prime up at Foxwoods.
Wow.
So, yeah.
You've got a lot of depth going on over here with how you got to where you are. And you know what? When you start from the bottom and you kind of work your way up through the ladders of the business,
Mhm.
it makes a difference of what kind of mold you come from.
Yeah.
Because when it gets into the actual nitty gritty of actually being a bartender,
Mhm.
you've had to watch a lot of people make
Oh.
different kind of cocktails and
Yeah.
drinks. I'm just
Well,
assuming.
even just interacting with people. I mean, I learned everything I know today from that experience at 14, 15. I was there until almost my 21st birthday. So from 14 to 20 years old, I had worked at the same restaurant, and I learned every aspect of that business. My mentor, manager, owner, Brenda, she told me everything I knew about this industry, about how to interact with people. I saw people come from all over to show her and her family's business support, and just the interaction she had with her guests. It inspired me to want to connect with people like that myself.
Now, has Brenda been to 1928?
Unfortunately, I found out recently that Brenda had passed away a few years ago.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, so it hit me pretty hard too, because I had just had my first son, and I saw my mom had sent it to me, and I was like, wow, like she's the type of person that, fast forward now, I would love to have not only in my place, but sit down and say, thank you for showing me everything, because
That's
I'm here
amazing.
because you gave me a chance as a young kid.
All right, so let's go into 1928.
Yeah.
What?
Are we
still going back in time?
Sorry,
Well,
we're jumping back
You said
into-
let's go back to 1928. What is 1928?
What is 1928?
So 1928 is a speakeasy-inspired cocktail bar. We are a cocktail bar hidden behind a facade entryway, which is a a bookcase door that we are right on the green in Brantford, and we just make really cool cocktails, Art Deco decor. Tony and I were inspired by the Prohibition era speakeasies. Obviously, no illicit activities taking place there,
Right.
but it's just a vibe of having to kind of seek it out, and when those doors open and they close behind you, you don't feel like you are where you were before, whether it be Brantford or.
So you explained the entry
Yeah.
earlier. You walk in and then you're like in like an old person's place.
Yeah, it's kind of like a parlor or like a waiting room. It's got a bookcase. There's like these old chairs. It's something like we have this decor glasses that are on an old newspaper. So you got to knock on the door. You have to give the password. We require the password Thursday through Saturdays to kind of control chaos at the door. It's also fun to do like a daily password.
And by the way, speaking of the password, you also have social media website that you actually share the password on.
Yeah. So Facebook and Instagram, you can find that on our story. We posted Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's a new password each day.
2 questions. One, anybody ever turn around when they get inside and they go, what the hell, this is not.
Oh yeah, several people.
And
I mean,
they turn around going,
we've watched people walk by.
hey,
like, on
we
their
went to
phone.
the address.
Yeah. So we've had people literally walk by. Tony will be at the door. He'll be looking through, like waiting for them to open it. They're looking. This can't be the place.
You have
They're
to have a
walking by.
camera there to.
I mean, I
record it
wish. So
sometimes
we have.
because
Great idea.
we
don't
it's
have-
just a feed to the inside, so the
Yeah.
people that are on the inside can
Yeah.
see the people on the outside
Oh,
going.
man, that's actually a really good call. Sometimes if Tony or one of our hosts is seating guests, they're not at the door when the next group of people come, so we don't know they're there.
Right.
But if you hear the knock, hopefully you can hear the knock through the loud room.
Right.
Then that would be funny to be able to see like
I
a camera
think-
feed.
Yeah, do you let them in if they don't know the password?
Absolutely, we give hints. We try to make it. Hints.
Hints, okay.
Yeah. So like if it's I don't know, like if it's Memorial Day, we'll say what's a branch of the service, but it's not Navy, Air Force, or Marines. They'll be like Army. Oh, boom, there it is. That's the answer.
You would go with Army.
So what's that?
You would go with Army.
So like we try to guide them, but again, it's just to control chaos. We don't allow standing room, which a lot of people do appreciate. They don't know that at first when they come in, but they do appreciate it once they're in there. They're like, nobody's hanging all over me, nobody's shouting in my ear, nobody's interjecting in my conversation. It's a really cool vibe.
It's funny, we were there one night and there were 3 other people that were kind of coming in, and you could tell they're kind of confused, and then they did the password right.
Yeah.
So Tony was kind of playing with them a little bit at the front door, and then as the door opens up, it's like, oh my God, what's inside? And then you walk inside, you're like, this beautiful room, it's very dark and very swanky with the red and the whole thing, and the swivel chairs and the tables, and it's a really cool vibe.
Is it true that the first time Dave went, he thought he had to go in a zoot suit, so he went? No?
I don't know about that.
So 1928, I thought it was a time thing.
Yeah,
The zoot suit is what they like a
The
big.
zoot suit? You don't know what a zoot suit is?
I'm
It's
guessing.
kind of like, it's usually like a weird color, like a purplish type zoot suit, and it's really flared shoulders.
Okay.
If you remember the Tom and Jerry cartoon,
Oh,
where
yeah.
the guy wore the really
Yeah.
wide suit at the shoulder,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
really
yeah.
narrow
Tapers
at the
down,
waist, yes, that's a zoot suit.
The zoot suit night in 1928.
I mean, Dave, you gotta bring that next time for sure.
That-
He has a zoot suit, I'm sure.
It's pinstripe,
something
probably.
You can get one, you can get one.
Go to that like special store to go rent one for sure. Any questions out there that we want to answer at all before we get started here and more questions? So, what made you pick Brantford?
That's a great question. A lot of people actually ask us, even the local Brantford people. We chose Brantford because it's not quite New Haven, but it's still New Haven County. It's shoreline, but not too deep up the shoreline. We didn't necessarily want to land on the cities. We wanted to be more on the outskirts so we can attract people coming down, say, from Mystic and Old Saybrook that way, but also coming up from Fairfield County, coming down from Hartford County. Given that we're in Brantford, we are right off 95, so it's very easily accessible, and we're in with a great group of restaurants. I mean, Brantford, if you don't know, Brantford has a great culinary scene. So Tony and I went, we went to all the operators in the area. We're like, we are not going to be competition. We want to be in addition to. We want to be a place that we can bring people to Brantford and they can come out to your establishment before or after.
That's actually really cool you said that. We don't want to be your competition. We want to be a part of your competition, be a part of you and the environment.
We want to help bring people to Brantford because, I mean, the operators that are running the restaurants in Brantford, every single one of them are doing it at such a high level and such consistency. most of them I think are pushing close, anywhere from 12 to 20 years in age. I mean, they're doing it well still. They still have a great following. So we wanted to be a part of that where we can give them something, just a bar vibe that's a little bit different than what they're offering. We don't do dinner, so we want it to be like that before dinner, after dinner place for them to be able to come and see and then try to.
Good point, because that was actually something I was gonna ask. Do you serve food?
So we do. We have like small plates that we prepare ourselves. We have like chips and dip, charcuterie boards. Home up the road, it's a restaurant. It's a good friend of mine, Jared. Him and his team have created gourmet desserts for us. They also have an exclusive menu that you can order straight to your seat. Some of the items on that menu are exclusive to our spot, so you can't even get them there, which is really nice. So for those that want a little bit more substance, his team prepares something that can come right to your seat.
And it's some kind of a QR code that
Yep.
someone would just scan their phone. and
Yes,
then
you scan the
order.
QR code, order it within about, I would say, the most I've ever seen is like 10 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a pretty quick turnaround.
From the table, you mean?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, right to your table.
So at 1928, which is a sick bar, if I may say it like that, okay? I haven't been a few times now. You hired my son,
Yeah,
which was pretty awesome. He's a bar back there at 1928.
Daniel's
And
right.
it meant a lot for him to have the opportunity. He speaks the word with you always. But more importantly, not just him speaking, I got to come in and see.
Yep.
When I walk in, it's got this like family-friendly atmosphere there.
Yes.
Tony creates the vibe when you first
Right
walk
when
in.
you walk through the door.
He is like everybody's best buddy
Yeah.
when you walk through the door. And then you come in, he's making sure you find some good seat that you want to be at. And then, of course, you have the ambiance, right? You've got you and Laura. Help me with the people behind the bar. Give me
Yes.
some of the names of you.
So we have Karina, we have Lara, we have myself. We are the 3 main bartenders, and then we have a new apprentice bartender, Selena, who's going to be training with us to do things our way and really learn how to cocktail at a high level.
And then you have waitresses walking around.
Yep. So we have cocktail servers, Kara, my wife, obviously Nicola, and then every once in a while, we'll have like Victoria rotate in, or sometimes Karina will take tables, and Selena's going to be kind of like a hybrid for us as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And the staff there are super friendly, very knowledgeable, and very helpful, because what happens is you get these really cool book, I'll call it like a book,
Yes.
if you will, for a menu. And a lot of the drinks you may not know because you've never seen before, and you don't know what to order, but you're like, you'll say, well, what do you like? You know what I mean? And I'll maybe say something, and then you kind of gear towards a certain page and kind of.
So is the book, the name of the drink and the ingredients, or just the name?
As far as what?
The drinks. in
Oh,
the
so
book.
in our menu, the book, you'll have the name of the cocktail. It describes the ingredients. It even tells you what glassware it comes in. Because there's in the past we've had people say, well, is that in a small glass, tall glass, up on the rocks? So we try to give them as much information as possible to help guide them with their decisions. But ultimately, back to your point, our servers and bartenders are trained to ask the right questions to help guide that experience for those individuals. Because you guys come in, you might want 2 totally different things. It is up to our team to help you find the perfect cocktail for the moment.
Well, I like the idea that you have the ingredients in there, because it's like, I'm feeling like, and you could just leaf through and go,
Yeah.
oh, you know what, something gingerbready.
Yes, exactly.
To you.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Yeah, so is that in the book now, or no?
So it's not in the book, but people, some of our guests, they do come in, they throw like off-menu questions, like, can you make something with gingerbread? Can you make something with salted caramel, or something with smoke? And our team is highly trained to be able to figure out, all right, I have all of these ingredients. Let me deconstruct and then reconstruct in
Yeah, I don't
liquid
think
form.
Dave was in the room at that time because he was working on something, but I mean, it was unique in how he identifies, how Frank identifies what liqueurs or ingredients he has that can achieve the flavor that you're looking for.
Yes.
And speaking about ingredients, let's talk about the ingredients you have there, because these ingredients are not just your average ingredients that you get from the store or have in a bar. They're actually things you make.
Yeah, so at 1928, we do our own syrups, we do our own infusions, we juice all of our juice fresh daily, all of our garnishes are cut fresh daily. We try to get seasonal fruits and vegetables and things to incorporate, and especially every week we do a dealer's choice cocktail, where each bartender gets their own week to showcase something fun that they're working on, or something they saw online that they want to do.
We have some questions out in the audience, so we hear from
We
those.
got one from Valerie. She said, where did you go to bartending school?
So I actually did not go to bartending school. I was taught by mentor bartenders before me, one of which was my good friend Boston Mike. He taught me a lot about the bar and how to interact with guests, how to make cocktails. Again, back to Brenda, you know, at a young age, she was showing me everything that I needed to know behind the bar. I worked with a guy, Mike, at that bar. He taught me a lot as well. Mike Dickinson, way back when I was a kid, I would ask him a ton of questions. I probably drove him nuts with the amount of questions that I had, but I learned mostly by doing. And for anybody that is looking to get into it, you can go to bartending school, but I highly recommend getting with a good program, ask the right questions, read the books, watch the videos, go to the seminars, and just surround yourself with like-minded individuals, and you'll be able to pick it up a lot faster.
Any other questions out there?
We got Whiskey Chris said, how do you decide when to use higher proof spirits for a cocktail versus lower proof?
So just repeat that question about how do you decide when to use higher proof spirits when making a cocktail? That's from Chris Glenn and Whiskey Chris.
Chris, that's a great question, and as I said to you guys earlier off camera, especially when it comes to overproof spirits, we like to use those primarily in cocktailing, not for neat pours and on the rocks. You can, but the higher proof is not going to fall apart in the cocktails. I want the cocktail to be balanced, so I need to know, and my team needs to know that, all right, I've got this proof, these spirit profiles that are coming from this particular spirit. I want them to match and marry with these ingredients. So, for instance, if you want to taste your overproof bourbon in an old fashioned, for instance, I need to figure out a way to make it not only balanced, but I don't want to dilute it too much to the point where you lose the flavors. 80 to 90 proof whiskeys sometimes disappear, even in an old fashioned with 3 very easy ingredients. But the overproof bourbons, even rums, ryes. We've got absinthe, for instance. We pick those based on the type of cocktails.
The legal absinthe.
The legal absinthe.
Any other questions that are out there before we just jump into anything here? One of the things you mentioned about absinthe, right? Which I only heard absinthe in that sense that it makes you like an aphrodisiac, or you kind of lose your senses.
No.
What is absinthe supposed to?
Absinthe? Well, there's two variables, right? Or variants of absinthe.
Yeah,
Because absinthe.
you got the one with wormwood, you got one with, as he said.
There's an absinthe that is an opium-based.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's an opium-based alcohol.
Gotcha.
Obviously, Frank's not using.
Yeah, no, we use Pernod, we use St. George, we use.
It would be illegal.
We've got a new one coming in next week. I don't actually recall the name of that. The 2 primary absinthes we use is Pernod, which is like the industry standard, and then St. George, which is more boutique out of California. They're doing incredible stuff. I prefer St. George just for cocktailing. It is 136 proof. It does burn if you want to do like fun flare things with flame, but it's very, very tasty, and it blends really, really well in cocktails.
Is it true 1920 is open to the public?
Yes. So lately we've been open 2 years as of June 3rd, which we are very thrilled to be able to say that we've made it 2 years. We're thriving. The brand is doing very well. We're very well received by the community. But we still get, hey, I heard you were closed to members only. So we do offer memberships for added benefits, one of which is you get to skip the line if we have a line, you get priority seating when you come in, and you get a discount on your arrival as well. So say, even if it's just yourself, or if you're with a group of, say, 6 of your friends, we would apply the VIP discount. All you have to do is show your card, but we are open to the public. So walk-ins are welcome. We do recommend never require reservations Thursday, Friday, Saturday, just because we see the influx of people
Definitely
coming to the area.
suggest trying to make reservation. Call up Tony.
Tony, yep.
Right. And do you also do reservations online as well? Is it
So we will take
call?
reservations through DM, but 9 times out of 10 we will recommend they at least text Tony's number to confirm. Tony is the reservation system. He's very organized. He's got it down to a science where he knows how many people we can take in a set seating, and what the night's going to look like. He kind of orchestrates that.
Let's make sure we have Tony's number down
Yeah,
there.
so it's
For all
203.
you ladies out there, no, I'm kidding. What's the one?
203-530-1600, 1600, and that's for the Bulldog himself.
Now, do we have that number on the screen yet? It's the 203-530-1600.
Yep, that's for
Reach
Tony's
out to
direct line.
Tony directly.
Yep. It's on Google. It's on Google Maps, Apple Maps.
Say it again.
203-530-1600. 1600. That is Tony,
Yeah.
the Bull, what is
Yeah, we
it?
call him Bulldog because
The
he's a
Bulldog.
big Yale fan. So, and his email is TC Bulldog. So
Okay.
we call him TC.
Tony
Bulldog.
the Bull.
Tony the
I
Bulldog.
love it, I love it. So you wanna make reservations if you can, you can always show up.
Yeah, oh yeah,
It can be
walk-ins
busy.
are always welcome. We just, because as I said, we don't do standing room, there might be a little bit of a wait. So whether it's 30 minutes to an hour, which is, that's
Where do they
the
wait?
worst case scenario. They can wait in our foyer if there's room, or, we would typically take their number and recommend they go to our friends at Pasta Cozy, Nivella, or one of the neighborhood restaurants like Home. There's a million restaurants to choose, and then we'll just text you when your table's ready, That's what we try to do.
Great
Go grab
question.
some appetizers. and
Yeah,
come
go,
back.
have fun in the area and come back when a table's ready. We don't want you to have to sit outside, especially as the summer draws out, gets hotter, humid and whatnot. We try to accommodate people in a timely manner, but, there's gonna be a wait. We don't wanna just cram everybody in there like sardines.
And are there any special events coming up?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're gonna be launching our new menu next week. We were supposed to do it this week, but we couldn't get to print this week. So next week we'll be launching our new menu. I myself am gonna be in a bartending competition on
Really?
Sunday. Yeah, so the Fernet Branca. It's like a bitter cocoa minty amaro. It's very good. Typically, like an after dinner drink, nice and settles the belly.
So is it
Typically pairs some
a,
dessert drinks.
is it a drink competition for one drink to make, or is it?
So the star has to be Fernet Branca. So I believe the rules are it has to be a minimum of 1.5 ounces, and you have to be able to taste that spirit. So the cocktail that I've created, I think it does a very good job of showcasing and kind of holding up that spirit, and we'll see how it shakes out.
Is this gonna be at 1920?
No, this is going to be at Olives and Oil in New Haven, Sunday the 23rd, which is coming up in a couple days, and I believe it starts at 5 o'clock.
What does the winner get?
Winner gets $200 plus they get a Fernet coin, which is a big deal for people in the industry. It's a challenge coin, as I'm sure you're familiar with being in the
They
military.
didn't do that back then.
No? Oh, okay. So
it's a challenge.
it's a
point.
challenge coin. So typically bartenders have this coin. They go to a bar, they put the coin down, they ask for a shot of Fernet. If the bartender has a coin, they can have a shot together. They call it the bartender's handshake.
That's pretty cool.
Fernet Branca has definitely become like the favorite shot. You get Rumpelmans, you get Jaeger, you get green chartreuse, but Fernet is definitely like the industry standard for shots called by bartenders.
I'll put that. I never had that before. I'll put that on my.
It's an acquired taste, but it's once you love it, you love it.
I won't remember the name and I won't be able to pronounce the name.
Fernet.
Oh, just for
It's
now.
it's an Italian
Fernet.
liqueur. Yeah, it's you find it all over Italy.
little
It's
Fernet
usually like an
Fernet.
after dinner drink.
For now.
Really?
Well, you like Sambuca. It's not like Sambuca in the flavor profile, but it's something that you would consume, say, after dinner for sure.
Sambuca
help
Sambuca
kickstart
with
the
the
digestion.
coffee bean in it or no?
Absolutely, put the coffee beans in there. I gotta get that. Yeah.
Do you want to expand the 1928 brand outside of Brantford?
Yes. So I mean, Tony and myself, we've explored a few options, both in New Haven, Fairfield, Hamden. All of which didn't really shake out to our liking. Him and I, we are not in a rush, but we do want to expand. The 1928 brand, we would like to do maybe 2, so like a Fairfield County, New Haven County, or a Hartford County, New Haven County. But
That's Harper County. It's Harper downtown Lubeck Square.
yeah. So I mean, we've got our eyes on some of those locations, but we don't want to over expand the brand. I have personally, I want to do
Can we
other
show everybody
concepts.
the 1928
Oh, yeah.
logo over here? Very cool stuff.
There we go. Yeah, that's the original logo. We have a new one. It's like a coupe glass with the 19 and the 28 on either sides. It's a little bit more modern looking, but it still gives you those old school 20s feel as well. It's kind of like Art Deco-ish.
Very cool stuff. Got any slide projects you're working on?
So yeah, side projects.
I just said slide.
You said slide. So myself and my team, we
had a couple drinks before we started.
I mean, that's what we're here for, right?
That week.
So,
Did I tell him you shouldn't have that second one?
You did.
I said, you're slurring your speech a
Yeah.
little bit. No, I'm not.
So for those slide projects, I have, so my team and I were working on rolling out, like entry-level cocktailing classes. So we mentioned in bartending school, we want to put together some classes that are going to be open to the public as well as for industry professionals to kind of brush up their game, really understand the theory behind cocktailing and bartending. So we got that going on.
Yeah.
I myself am working with some other operators to try to hopefully I could get a little, consultant thing going where I might be able to help them fix their bar programs or come up with cocktails, come up with menus, things like that. That's one of my passions is, I love the building aspect of 1928. I love bartending and I love being behind the bar and doing the day in the life, but I really love the building aspect of that.
By the way, I've come up with a nickname for Frank Dean. It's Frank Magic Hands.
Magic Hands.
Because the guy's hands do magic. When you come to this bar, he's got, again, it's the passion, it's the smile, it's the whole atmosphere, and he's making these drinks. By the way, one of the drinks that I want people to know about is the espresso martini.
Yes,
Okay?
yeah, so we're known for
It is one of the most electrifying espresso martinis you've ever had. And espresso martinis are things that when you go to the bar, they ask for espresso martini.
It's probably at this point the #1 called cocktail in the world.
And not to mention, they're so different as with places.
Every place has a
It can
different
be
one.
too coffee oriented,
Yeah.
dry.
It could be too desserty.
And I don't like Bailey's in my espresso martini because it takes away from the actual espresso martini. You guys make an espresso martini unlike anybody else. I don't want to tell anybody what you make it with or how you do it.
Well, no, I mean, we're happy to share. So we're known for both the classic style and our 28 style. Both are, it's like they're called about the same. Our classic style, which
It
is,
wasn't around in 1928.
yeah,
This
exactly.
might be true, but
This
it's
is the modern.
It's
like,
the
Yeah.
modern today, 1928. So how do you want to share?
So the classic style, we don't use a vanilla vodka, which is what most would use. We use, if someone calls for vanilla vodka, we infuse our own stateside vodka. Stateside is our preferred vodka at 1928. We infuse it with Madagascar beans. But usually we do stateside vodka. We use a house-made vanilla syrup, coffee liqueur, predominantly Mr. Black because we like the bitter notes versus like the sweeter, say, Luxardo or Kahlua. I personally love a black coffee, so those give me better black coffee flavors when I'm drinking the espresso martini. And then we use fresh espresso, which, I mean, it has to be fresh. If you're gonna do espresso martini, it has to be fresh espresso. You cannot use cold brew. You're not gonna get that froth. You're not gonna get the proper crema. And then when it goes to our personal 28 style, we have so much going on. There's like a creaminess to it. So obviously we use, instead of vodka, we use rum. And the preferred rum for us is Plan Array 3-star rum, which is a white rum. It's very delicious. It uses 3 different styles of rum blended together. It's by the Maison Ferrand portfolio. They also have cognacs, and they age some of their rums in cognac barrels. But we use that rum. Mr. Black Coffee Liqueur, Fernet Branca. We use a Falernum, which adds like creaminess to the cocktail. People are like, this tastes like there's cream in there. There's no cream in there. That heavy weight you typically get from the Demerara sugar that we use and the Falernum itself.
And wait, hold on. Rick, hold on.
I'm lost.
Hold on. While you're talking, I'm watching Eric's face. I think he's trying to have a
There
little
wasn't,
drool.
no,
Yeah,
there wasn't a
Twitch.
single ingredient in there that I knew or
Well,
heard of.
it's
But they're
fine.
They're
delicious.
so out of the.
When you
They're
mention-
delicious. When you put them all together, they are very delicious.
When you mention the actual espresso bean, he started to get a little twitch.
Yeah. Well, the espresso beans are delicious, and that's old school. So for us, the 28 espresso martini, we do an expression of lemon because, in my opinion, nothing goes better than espresso and lemon. And that's why when you go to nice restaurants, they give you the espresso with the lemon rind on the side. So we express it over the top. As soon as you bring it up towards your mouth, your nose, you smell it, it gets your mouth watering before you take a sip. It's a really cool experience.
It's almost like an aphrodisiac for an espresso martini. It hits your senses before it hits your mouth.
It does.
It's banana.
Yeah.
And you do this thing with a lemon peel, and you pop something
Yeah,
another.
yeah. It's just the expression over the top, and then we rim it around so that you get the oils on the lip as well.
It is bananas. It is absolutely. Any other questions while I'm talking here so much over here? Okay, so another drink that you make that I thought was pretty amazing. Well, there's a lot of drinks you make. One of the most recent ones I had was the Buck Bunny,
Yes.
which is, and at first I wasn't sure what you said because I don't hear very well, and I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, what'd you say?
There was a word we won't say on air that he thought it
I
was.
was like,
Sounds like Buck. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, I mean, it's a lot of people talking. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, I guess I'll try that one. I'm like,
Duck
Yeah.
Bunny.
exactly.
Daffy Duck, Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
So
Duck Bunny.
it's like, tell everybody what this.
So one of our previous bartenders, Alfie, him and I, we wanted a cocktail with carrot, and he
Say
had
carrot.
carrot,
Yes.
carrot, Buck Bunny. It's like Bugs Bunny. Buck Bunny.
Uh-huh.
So
it's crazy because as soon as you're carrot, like I'm out. Right?
Yeah.
Immediately.
But
then-
it's really good for your eyes, by the way. But that's what they say. You drink it, and instead of seeing 2, you see 1. You see straight. But yeah, so it's a bourbon-based cocktail, which for those that don't like bourbon, that don't like whiskey, it is a very good, easy drinking cocktail. The bourbon, back to Chris's question earlier, we use like an 80 proof bourbon, so it kind of blends well with the ingredients, and you'd almost never know that there's bourbon. Now, if we chose a higher proof, you'd be able to taste your bourbon. It wouldn't fall apart or disappear into those ingredients. But for this cocktail, we wanted it to not disappear, but meld with all the ingredients. So you got your carrot cordial, fresh lemon juice. We use a mandarin liqueur, which adds like that citrus, that fresh like pop of flavor on the back end. We top it with some ginger beer. We put a mint sprig on top, and then we shave a little nutmeg over it. It really just encompasses it. Honestly, when it's in the glass,
You had that?
it looks like a carrot.
It
does.
But where's the carrot though?
It looks like a carrot.
It looks-
It's in a
oh,
cocktail
yes,
glass with a
yes,
mint
okay.
sprig on top.
I'm
So
gonna post it
orange.
there.
It's an orange base with the mint sprig on top. It looks like a carrot.
I'm gonna be posting
But it's a
videos
play
this
on
evening.
it's a play on a cocktail called the Kentucky Buck. And when we were coming up with names for it, I had thought, well, Bugs Bunny, Carrot, Buck Bunny, or Buck, the Kentucky Buck. How about Buck Bunny? And we
Right, combine
all of
the
us in
two,
the
right.
bar meeting were like, that's perfect. Let's do it.
Got a question out there.
Whiskey Chris said, even I like the Buck Bunny.
Whiskey
Yeah,
Chris,
let's go, Chris.
And Whiskey Chris is
Whiskey
a lot
Chris
like
likes
yourself.
the
He's
Buck
not a fruit and vegetables kind of guy at all. Zero, as a matter of fact. I'm not sure. That might be his first time he ever had a vegetable or fruit, maybe
Yeah.
like a carrot. And a compliment to Chris because we were there and we had a bunch of different drinks,
Yeah.
a bunch of different
You
times.
guys went,
Um,
started at the top, worked your way down.
The drinks that you make, I mean, I love all types of bourbon, scotch, whiskey. I love gin.
Mhm.
You've got a whole gin menu of drinks.
Mhm.
And I fell in love with that drink,
Cristalino.
Cristalino.
Yeah.
It was bananas.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I got this, and I was like, I drank it, and it was so smooth,
Mhm.
and it had sweetness to it, like from the lemon or
No,
orange maybe.
Cristalino started out, that was one of our first cocktails that we did, and it was the Cristalino Negroni because it was built with 3 easy ingredients like the Negroni. Typically in your Negroni you have gin, Campari, and sweet vermouth. We took the Campari, we threw, yeah, I'm gonna try to keep you in here, but Campari adds the bitter component as well as like herbal citrus notes. We threw in Italicus bergamot, which adds herbal and a little bit of citrus notes as well. And then we wanted to dry it out versus sweeten it, so we threw Carpano dry vermouth. And then we used the best forge, in my opinion, for cocktailing. We used forged gin. And it's evolved over time. We dropped the Negroni part because it's not an overly bitter cocktail like the Negroni. So we dropped the Negroni, it's just the Cristalino because it's crystal clear. We got rid of the grapefruit peel. We added an orange peel because it married with the orange notes that are in the Italicus bergamot. And we also added orange bitters to add a little bit more of that bite, that bitter note to the cocktail itself.
This guy is a chef of alcoholic beverages. I'm telling you now, if you didn't like to drink before, you're going to be excited to come and try things you've never thought you'd try.
Mm-hmm.
Like Eric, for example, trying a Buck Bunny that he would never
Buck
consider.
Bunny.
Buck Bunny.
Buck Bunny.
Buck
He would
Bunny.
never, or
Well,
Chris.
he said something about carrot, so I'm like, okay, I can't imagine a drink that has a carrot in it, you know what I'm saying? So I was
It's
thrown
very
off a little
refreshing.
bit
You honestly
there.
don't even, if you didn't read it, other than the color, you would never really, it's there. You know it's there, but it's not overpowering.
Right.
If anything, the citrus and the mandarin really work to kind of help blend it into that.
So in that
base.
regard, is there like, I don't really use something that might sound insulting, but it doesn't mean to be. So like, you know how like a bar you have like pretzels and chips and
Yeah.
stuff like that?
Absolutely.
Is there a table thing that you put out that works with these things? Like,
So like
do you
parents-
recommend, hey,
almost
based
like
on what you're
parents.
drinking, I would recommend that you have these with that. You
So
know what I'm saying?
that's a great question. We don't
question.
have that. Given that we aren't a restaurant, we're a cafe, we don't have the ability to really marry certain dishes with our cocktails, although they could. I mean,
There's
there's
not
There's not
plenty-
talking about a dish, but I'm
Yeah.
talking about something like a
Yeah, so,
chip, you know, like
I
a
mean-
cheese doodles goes really well with this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm just
I
using
get
an
what you're
example.
saying. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's not a bad idea with the home
Yeah.
idea. If you would say to somebody, listen, let's say they're recording something from home, and you're like, oh, you know what would be a great drink with that little thing you're having?
Yeah.
This drink here, and they go, oh my god, and bang, you just throw it out there, and then,
Yeah, I don't know. So Jared and Chef Lauren from home, we've teamed up. We've done actual dinners with our style cocktails
Really?
and their style food. It was an absolute success. It was a sellout. people are still asking me when's the next one. So him and
I want to be at
Yeah, so you that was another event that I meant to mention earlier. So him and I are working on trying to get one of those dinners together for August, and we'll put it up on our social media, our website, and we'll be able to let everybody know when we're going to start selling tickets for that as well.
That would be good. Maybe we can get you back in here before that event,
Sure.
during another show. Maybe even have you make something up on the spot.
Absolutely.
That'd be kind of neat to see in
Yeah,
action over
that
here.
would be kind of cool.
And again, I'm gonna have a lot of videos, content that I took all these videos when I was. So I've been going quite frequently, and also, let's talk about your
Put it at the
birthday.
bottom.
Yeah, so Jared from home, his team, and my team, we did a tasting panel. We wanted to do a joint project with a bourbon. We chose Savage and Cook. Jared had teamed up with them last year and did their Burning Chair line. It was an excellent bourbon, but this time we wanted to go a little bit more proof, again, to be able to cocktail well. You could sip it neat, you could sip it on a rock, but we wanted something that can really shine in the cocktail, so that's where we went with this particular blend. So Dave Finney from Prisoner Wines, Orange Swift, had sold those projects and decided, I love bourbon, I want to open a distillery. He purchased a retired naval base in San Francisco and turned it into a distillery, named it Savage and Cook. Now, he takes his love of wine and his love of bourbon, he brings the two together because he has a master distiller make his bourbon and then he ages it in his wine barrels to have like different finishes. So for this particular one, our team chose 50% Zinfandel barrel finish, 32% Cabernet finish, and 18% Grenache finish. Adds a little bit of sweetness, definitely adds some berry notes to it, but it really rounds out the smooth ability of this cocktail. For 100 proof, you know there's heat there, but it really drinks a lot smoother.
We had a sip of it before the show, or two,
Yeah.
and I drank it neat as, I typically, like my buddy Chris, he's a big neat drinker. He'll never put ice in anything, it's all about neatness. And what I've learned is when you drink it neat, you actually get to enjoy it.
It wasn't neat, you spilled some. Didn't he?
It was a messy heat.
I
Yeah,
did
it was a
spill
messy
on
neat,
the
yeah.
toast. It happens. You spill sometimes, but the thing of it is, it was so tasty. You get a little zing on the burn in the first shot, and the second sip, you
Primes
take
the
it.
palate. By the second
Yeah.
one, you really get what it's supposed to show.
Really great bourbon, and you make a fantastic old fashioned with this bourbon.
This in an old fashioned, the billionaire cocktail, the Manhattan. We tried a few different cocktails with this. The Revolver, it really shines, really holds up.
The Revolver was a great drink also.
Yes.
I've been making a list of every drink I've been trying now because of these names and how to remember what they are. And it's like the list is getting longer and longer. Because again, when you go to a bar, especially a place like 1928, where you have things you never had before, it's truly an emotional experience when you're drinking these drinks. Like you just kind of like have going on.
Well, it says something about the place because, I mean, like, don't use me as an example because, like, when I go to a bar, I get the same drink every time because it's my go-to. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that people are trying different drinks because it's like, oh my God, this was amazing. I got to try this one.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, we've
Or
noticed
somebody else
especially-
tries something and they're like, what is that? It's like when you go to a really good restaurant, you
Yes.
see them go by with a tray.
Yes.
And you're like, what is that?
So this next menu is going to do a lot of that. I also did a stint in the fitness industry for a few years, and we called it the fishbowl effect. So they always put the group X rooms or the studios in either the front or in the center where people have to walk around it because they're going to be looking in. And eventually, human nature, we want to be a part of the crowd. We want to be a part of what everyone's doing. So you're going to want to join those classes. Well, for us, we've got cocktails that are going to be very visually stunning this time around that when they hit the floor, someone's going to be like, what was that? I need to have one of those.
Mhm.
So you're going to see a lot of that in the next menu.
Yeah, it's
Buck Bunny's gonna be a.
Oh, the Buck Bunny does it already with the colors and everything,
Yeah.
but we've got some that are really gonna pop. Glassware-wise, garnish-wise, flavor-wise, color-wise.
Even the,
We've got some really
with the
cool ones.
glasses and the lights you have,
Yes,
there's so
yeah.
many things happening in this bar
Yep.
that when people, like you said, just walk by, or if you're sitting at the bar, or you're sitting at a table, or you're
Yeah.
sitting at, one of the group settings that you have set up, it truly, there's so much going on. It's a lively place.
Yes.
You can be very chill with a romantic date and nice little,
Definitely a date spot for sure.
right?
We are-
Absolutely.
we've been
Every time
known for the date
every
spot.
time I come in, I'm obviously not, well, actually, I came with my wife once for about a good, 30 minutes, because she was like, okay, one drink, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
Because she knows me, I'll tend to do this to,
Starts at the
she
bottom.
stopped, she was like, no, we gotta go. Because
Yeah.
she knows me, and because you get excited about, it's not just the drinking aspect of drinking,
Yeah,
it's the exciting, it's like going to a restaurant. It's like, I love appetizers.
sure.
I would rather
I
have
love the
5
same
appetizers,
way.
right, exactly.
Same way.
That's how I feel when I come to your place. It's like all the appetizers
Yeah.
that you're going to the menu, and you want to try a little of each one.
So we've designed the menu to give everyone what they're looking for. If you're a vodka drinker, we have really cool, flavorful vodka drinks. We have gin, we've got bourbon, we've got rye, tequila. Now we're getting into Asian spirits and Asian wines like sake and things like that. So we want to be able to give everyone something they're looking for. You want smoky, you want this. We have something to be able
Sake is also known as sake.
Yeah.
What you and I call sake.
Sake to me.
So-
Might be a
so
cocktail
then-
name, I don't know.
So then using the restaurant theme, would shots be considered an appetizer and not an actual meal? Like,
Absolutely. So we do what's called like the snackery. It's a small version of a daiquiri. We do the little haka. We do the little Negroni. They're shot versions of cocktails.
Okay.
So
No,
especially
yeah,
for so for people that aren't sure, like I don't know if I'm gonna like the Negroni. Instead of me making you one and you send it back, we'll make you a shot form. And you can take it like a shot and then it's gone, it's over, or you can give the rest to your friend, but it's a way for us to show you what it tastes like in a shot form. So we have a ton of different flavors, like we do the old fashioned, we do the Oaxaca, a ton of different cocktails, even a small margarita we've done, like we do little shot versions of it.
Nothing in Jello, right?
Next menu, next
Next
menu,
menu.
next
Did I
menu.
let
We got
the cat out of the bag or
some-
whatever? I'm serious, I was kidding.
Yeah, so we got some Jello stuff going on.
Okay.
We have an edible cocktail coming. Yeah, it's
Wow.
gonna be very cool, especially for the after dinner play. It's gonna be
Wow, I
really,
came
really
out of that, I
Yeah.
came out of nowhere.
I did not
I was
see it
like,
coming at
Jello
all.
shots, no way he does Jello.
Yeah, I mean not like your typical shooter Jello shots, but we're gonna have some jellies. We're gonna have some. There's gonna be a lot of cool things. We're gonna have garnishes.
On the menu,
Interactive
is there a
cocktails.
place that talks, because again, I'm jumping on this menu, is there a place where it has like whatever you call it, like the shot thing where you can try a bunch of things with it?
No, so again, it goes back to training my team, making sure that they give the best experience possible. So when someone is truly stuck and they're like, I've been told to try the Negroni, but I don't want to order it and send it back. So this is a way for the service and the bartenders to identify what it is they're asking for and give, let's get you a taste of that. I got a little, so instead of paying, say $10 to $12 for an old fashioned, it's like a $5 to $6 shot, and it's the cocktail in a shot form, and they're able to see. Well, you know what? I'll never ask for that again. Or as a matter of fact, I'd love to give me the drink.
That's a really, really cool idea.
Yeah.
Never have
It's a
ever seen that at a
it's a
bar.
sample
Yeah. So we call them snack cocktails.
All right, everybody, this show could keep going for hours because this guy is easy to talk to, and there's so much to know and get excited
And the
about.
topic is ridiculous.
It's one of our favorite topics probably to talk about beverages, tasty beverages and an experience that hits the mind and body. 1928 in Brantford on Main Street, right?
Yes, right on
What
Main
is
Street.
the address there, please?
1018. We're right next to Pasta Cozy and Ashley's Ice Cream.
1018 Main Street, Brantford. Frank Magic Hand Dean, 1928. The people who work at this place, smiles, laughter, happiness, knowledge, and an experience that really, really hits home.
Yeah, our team is very proud to work for 1928, and they all work very well together. We're a small operation. We're not a large concept. We seat about 74 people in one seating, and our small team takes care of every single person, and we try to put everybody before ourselves always.
An amazing experience. Now, we're gonna get you back, I think, in August if that's working.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Okay.
I'd love to come back.
We're gonna talk about this event coming up as well, and maybe we'll do a little something here, put you on the spot, maybe a little flare action on
Cool,
the
yeah.
table. We're gonna go to the next part of our, yeah, exactly. Gotta check it out, you gotta get a hold of Tony, you gotta make your appointment, 203-530-1600. Ask for Tony the Bull,
Yeah.
he's gonna set you up in the.
Like us on
space.
Facebook, 1928 Cocktail Club. Like us on Instagram, 1928CT on Instagram. And then we have a TikTok at 1928CT as well.
Excellent, I love that. Now we're into the next part of our show, we give out a free tumbler, okay? Someone's gonna win a free tumbler, and Fame is gonna spin that wheel. If we missed your questions at all tonight, please post them on the show, and Frank will be looking out for them. You're gonna make sure to at Frank Dean on Instagram and also Facebook, and he'll get back to you and respond to those questions.
We got FC Lifestyle Trader 01.
01.
01.
They're the first ones.
FC Style Trader 01 on Instagram. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. Winning this tumbler, make sure you reach out to us. We can get this over to you. Frankie Magic Hands.
Awesome.
What an amazing night.
Thank you guys for having me.
I just, were you supposed to show a video or something? Or
There were lots of videos I wanted to show. There's so many videos to share.
Next time.
Yeah.
Next
What I'm
They're
gonna do
gonna
is
get
I'm-
posted and put in the short.
we're gonna upload.
Oh.
There we go. That's exactly. And just like that, when we're live, the
Lines.
camera gets moved around, the lights kind of come open over here. We have ghosts. I told you it happens all the time. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Frank.
Come see us down at 1928, guys.
Eric, it was an amazing time to be with you guys. Eric's trying to find 1928 on Instagram right now.
No, I'm looking at Zoot Suits. See?
Hey, look at that.
We're gonna
That's like Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Exactly
Yeah.
right.
Let's go.
We will see you all later. Have a wonderful night, everybody.